Hi, and welcome to a new segment on the R2 Hub. We're going to be doing a product review today, and I hope you enjoy it. So what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be looking at 3 different solutions for connecting your smartphone or your iPod or similar device to an existing stereo system that doesn't already have an accessory port or Bluetooth functionality. What we're also going to be looking at is a mounting system that we tried to see how that would work in our Project Oldsmobile. So let's get to it. The first item we're going to look at today is the Skosh Bluetooth hands-free car kit with FM transmitter. We ordered this through Crutchfield. The cost was $39.99. There seemed to be a lot of value. The packaging is pretty solid. It has some good pictures. It has some nice instructions on the back. And it tells you everything that it includes, along with some basic functionality and how to run the system. It also has some instructions that came with it. Inside, what we found was the actual unit itself. It also came with a remote control. And then it also came with an audio cable. Overall, the quality is pretty good. It feels really solid. The buttons definitely have a good feel to them. It has a nice LED screen with an easy readout. Has some nice adjustability here for when it's plugged in to set it so you can actually see it while you're driving. It also has a USB port underneath here so you can plug in your either your cell phone or your iPod and make sure that it is staying charged. And then on the side here is where the accessory audio cable plugs in, and then you plug the other end into your unit. The functionality is pretty basic. You have your forward, reverse, pause and play, channel, and then to connect your actual call or disconnect your call if you're using the cell phone. The remote control, again, pretty basic functionality. You've got volume, plus and minus, you got your channels, take your call, pause and play, fast forward, etc. The function of the unit was pretty good. I really enjoyed using it. As far as setting the channel was real easy. Using the buttons, connecting the phone through the Bluetooth was a real easy pairing. The biggest issue with this system wasn't the actual build quality or how it functioned, but rather it was the audio quality. The audio quality on this was really poor. The main reason I was looking for an adapter to connect my cell phone to the Project Oldsmobile system was that I wanted to do streaming audio, such as like Pandora. And unfortunately, when using it in that capacity, there was a lot of feedback through the audio system. It was a real buzzing sound. And no matter how I adjusted it, be it the channel frequency or the audio settings on my phone or the audio settings on the stereo, I could never fully get that buzzing out of the system. If I was only using this for making and receiving calls, this would be a really nice system to have. And it looks really good in the car. But unfortunately, that isn't what I wanted for this system. So what we did then is we moved on and we looked for what other options might be out there. So let's look at those now. So the second system we looked at was from a company called Cymbal. It's their in-car connectivity system called Cymbal Cassette. The packaging was pretty basic, as you would expect from a fairly inexpensive solution. This one was actually $18.99. Picked that up at Best Buy. The quality is pretty much what you would expect. It's basically a cassette with a cable that runs out. So the functionality of this is pretty basic, real simple. No configuration or anything that needs to be done, no setup. You just plug this into your tape deck. You set the system to tape, and then what you do is you take the other end of the cord here and you plug this into the headphone jack of your cell phone or your iPod, and then it just runs through the cable. The one nice thing about this is it does have a button on top of the headphone jack connector that you can use to mute and unmute the system. This system had a much clearer sound than the first one. It didn't have any kind of buzzing. However, it didn't work as well with my cell phone as I'd hoped. It worked really well with my iPod. I could set my playlist, I can use the actual functionality on the iPod to go forward, back, etc. So there wasn't a whole lot other than just it was taking the audio from the iPod through the stereo system. And it worked really well for that. Unfortunately, with the cell phone, I wasn't getting as good a sound quality through the system. I don't know if it's the cell phone that I was using. I'm using a Samsung S5. So it's a little bit dated, but it still works pretty well. So I don't know if that's contributing to it not working very well through the headphone jack. But otherwise, I was real happy with the unit. I really like the price. I like the fact that it's a no-hassle system, unlike the next one I'm going to be showing you. So if you're just looking for something really basic, just run through your headphone jack. This one works really well. The only problem is you do have to have a cassette deck. Now let's look at the third option. So the third system I want to show you today is also from the company Cymbal. This is the call cassette with Bluetooth. Again, picked this up at Best Buy. This one cost a little bit more than the other one. This one was $39.99, so the same as the first system. However, this, instead of using the FM receiver on your stereo, this one uses the cassette, similar to the second one. The quality, the box was pretty nice, had a lot of good information on it. You can actually see the unit, open it up. It comes with a mounting for your Bluetooth and your button for your cell phone. Pretty happy with that. Again, the functionality is real similar to the last one I just showed you. You just plug it in. The one thing you do have to do though is there's a power button right here that you have to make sure that you press before you plug it into the system to activate the unit. It also has an adapter port for connecting the accessory cord here. That then has a USB on the other end that you use to charge the system. That is the one drawback, is this one is a rechargeable system with an internal battery, so you do have to charge it from time to time. The life cycle of the charge was pretty impressive, I thought. It lasted multiple days without needing to be recharged. Obviously I wasn't using it real heavily, so this may be something you would have to charge a little more frequently if you were using it quite a bit. But once it's plugged in to the system, you turn your system to your tape deck again as the last one, and then it activates everything up. Once you pair your phone, you just open up your Bluetooth pairing, you find the call connect, and you pair it. And then there's also a button here that you use for when you're taking and receiving calls, to pick up the call or to disconnect the call. It's pretty simple functionality. This system worked extremely well with my cell phone. The Bluetooth sound quality when streaming Pandora was so much better than through the headphone jack. Again, that might just be because of my cell phone, but this is the one I really like and probably is my preferred unit of all three when using my cell phone. When using my iPod, I would probably choose the second one, but this is probably the one I'll be using the most. The final item I want to show you today isn't actually an adapter, but rather it's just a simple mounting system for either a cell phone or an iPod. This was, again, I picked this up at Best Buy. This is actually exclusively at Best Buy. It's called the Bracketron. It's a trip grip vent mount system. Again, the box and the packaging is what you would expect. Not a whole lot to say. This one was $19.99. So this system here is, as it says, was a vent mount system. It's got a couple of clips here that are adjustable. It also has a brace here that's adjustable up and down. Also has a second area where you can move this if you need to in the slot here. It has the adjustment to move the face so you can actually see it when you're in the car. Pretty simple system. The parts that I really like about this system is that it has a pull-down shelf, is what I would call it, so that you can actually set your phone on here and you don't have to worry about sliding out in case this loosens up. So that was really nice. And then also the jaws that hold the phone in place. I really like this system. It's a gear-driven system that you just put your phone in, you clamp it down, it's tight, and then when you want to pull the phone out, there's this green button on the side, you press that, and it opens it right up. This part of the system I really liked. This part of the system I despised. I could not get this thing to mount solidly in the car for no matter how I adjusted everything. What I'm probably going to look at doing, I do want to continue to use this system, but I'm probably going to replace this with a suction mount system. I just need to find one that'll work with this, or just find this system with a suction mount system. But for 20 bucks, I might want to try and keep it. So there's a quick review of the 3 adapter systems we're using on the R2 Hub Project Oldsmobile. The first system is probably really good for someone who only needs to talk on the phone while they're driving. It's a pretty solid hands-free system, not so good for audio. The second system worked extremely well for my iPod. I really liked that. It was a no fuss and just go with it. And the third system though is probably the one I'm going to be using the most. Worked really well with my phone, worked great for streaming audio. Then the bracket system for mounting the cell phones and the iPod, probably need to do a little work on that yet. So as always, thank you for watching. Please click like below. Please share it with all your friends. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. We appreciate all the views that we have so far on the channel. We hope you really enjoy what we're doing. If not, leave a comment below. Tell me what I'm not doing well. Or, you leave a comment and say what you do like. Always love to hear from everybody. So until next time, thanks for watching.